Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, spread your love. It's time to give Karl... You're actually nervous, aren't you? I'm a little bit nervous. Just to recap, Karl is 30 this year. He never went to get his results of his GCSEs. So myself and Steve took it upon ourselves to phone his school, track them down, and we actually got your results. What did you think you took?
Did English.
Right.
Maths.
Yeah.
Art.
Right.
And I think I did physics.
Okay. Well, you didn't do any of them.
Eh?
You didn't do any of them. You didn't register. You registered for one exam and took one exam and got results for one exam. So I don't know what you thought you were turning up to, or you weren't registered, or you didn't.
You're familiar with the notion of registering for an exam. You have to kind of officially register in order to be eligible.
What do you mean, register? I turned up for a couple.
Yeah, you can't just show up. You have to register for them.
You have to pay this because it costs the school money, so they have had to have paid for you if they thought you were going to pass. You can't just turn up on the day and ask for some paper at the front.
I never got a letter telling me that.
Well, that's because you were never at school.
But you did somehow register or registered for one exam. You registered for history.
It's a topic that you've always been interested in.
Oh, I was saying to Ricky before, World War II, I loved it.
Not the actual event.
No,
the study of it.
all the stuff like about the Anderson shelters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the bombs and that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I took it, it had nothing to do with that. It was more about the Tudors.
So the Second World War didn't come up. You mean there were no questions about the Anderson shelters?
Nothing.
That's devastating.
So
what are you expecting the result to be?
Is that seriously? Is that it?
Yeah, it's the only one you took and registered.
As far as the school is concerned, or certainly in
it's the only one that counts.
us.
It's the only result. It's the only one that counts. Yeah, you've got.
I don't. Did you register for yours?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have. Yeah, I've got certificates and everything.
So what? Do you do that before the exam? Do you have to go somewhere and sign something, or?
Yeah, you don't check your results and then decide if you want to register. It's not like Millionaire when you look at the question and go, I think I'll take the money.
Yeah.
You go.
No.
But anyway, you must have registered for one, or maybe your teacher put you in for it.
Well, I didn't do it.
They must have been
someone else
confident. They
registered
must
for
have been confident. They must have thought your best bet was history.
me. Right. So, what did they get?
You got an E, which I think, I mean, technically, is a pass.
E.
It's a bad pass, but there's F, and there's
I mean,
U.
you're not going to be doing a PhD.
You can get an F, right, which is fail, and then a U, which is ungraded. Now, I don't know why the U exists, because F means you failed. U is like them going, you not only failed, but you wasted my time.
So
We're annoyed that you took this exam.
So you thought they'd register me to get an E?
Well, they didn't.
I think they were hoping. It was rather like you with the lottery. They were hoping for something better than
You
nothing.
see, I assume that the man who registered for that thought he can scrape an E if Anderson shelters come up.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. You've got. Now, what I'd like to do, Karl, is I've started your re-education. You've read a book on Rasputin. I'll be asking you a few questions about that later. I've got another book for you to read next week. Next week,
I'm not in the mood.
What?
Not in the mood.
Oh, come on. Look, what's that? What does that say?
It's that fella. It's the picture of the bloke that he used to use for Citizen Smith.
Yeah? Che Guevara.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was quite happy, I think, when he found out that Robert Lindsay was involved. He went, yeah, of course you can. No worries, yeah.
What are your feelings, Karl? What
do you think? Are you depressed?
I'm just a bit annoyed because I'm sure I turned up for more, so it just wasted me time.
Listen, they don't matter.
I'm sure
you're doing very well. You know, you can educate yourself. GCSEs are merely a step on the ladder to help you, not just for education, but, you know, they're more vocational than anything else. You're doing very well, and you're reading books. Don't worry about it. But
It's not a
suggest
concern.
something. But if you want, I'll pay for you to take history again.
Karl, we'd love to see you get a C or above. And
Well,
we're
I'll
willing
pay
to...
for you, and I'll get you some books. Right, now listen. We can, let's get, I reckon, when are the exams? June?
Something like that, yeah.
We'll try and register next week, and I reckon you can get an A or B.
In history.
I'm
In
busy.
history. No, don't worry about it, it's just easy. You get your Brody's notes. If Heat magazine, they love you, Karl. They could probably sort something out. They could probably pay for a tutor. They got a lot of money, they sell a lot of magazines.
I mean, it is always, almost always, and you found that out, I discovered this, it's always the Tudors and Stuarts. There's no fear for them not coming up. Now, what do you already know about them? You must already know stuff about Henry VIII and Elizabeth.
No, because it's too long ago to even get interested in. Do you know what I mean? You can't.
Is that why you
relate
didn't?
to it.
Okay.
The Anderson thing, it was like, God, you know, I bet my mum and dad were in an Anderson shelter. You know, this is interesting.
What, when they...
Oh, my granddad would have, like, had something to do with this. But the Tudors, it's like, I don't know even if they had a family back then.
Play a record! Can we come back
Hang
to
on,
this?
hang
Sorry,
on, hang on.
Steve,
Because I need to introduce my the new feature.
Yeah,
For the
I
record.
don't know if I had a family back then.
Carl,
You're a
listen, let me
genius,
just
Carl.
ask you now, right? If you can finish this sentence, we've got a chance. Divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded.
Died. What is it?
We just need to do a little bit of work, but otherwise I think you're going to be fine. It's how you remember what happened to Henry VIII's wives.
They're little...
Divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded.
It's like spam. Support... What's it? Support, protection, anchorage, movement. That's how
You're going to that's nothing to do with the Tudors
No,
and
nothing to
Stuarts.
do with the skeleton.
Yeah, see, no, we're not doing biology.
Mnemonics and acronyms and...
What happened to Henry VIII's last wife? Did she die, or did she not die? Divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded.
Do you know that the only king that has got a moustache is... No. The only king that hasn't got a moustache is the King of Hearts on the playing cards.
What's the record you're going to play?
I want to resurrect the career of a different artist each week. This is an artist who's overlooked by the general public.
It's a red card.
This is Amy Mann, and she always seems to get overlooked. This was a single a while back.
Well,
I
I've
think
got
it's
one
called
eye.
Red Vine.